All right, everybody, welcome to the Adrian Tinsley Center here today, where we have a matchup in between the Framingham State University Rams and the Bridgewater State University Bears. My name is Luke Mansfield, joined alongside by Matt Donahue.
It's great to be here, and this is going to be a really fascinating matchup. These are two teams, Luke, that are in really different places in their seasons. Bears, of course, 14-5 on the year, 4-2 in MASCAC play. Framingham State has struggled a lot the last few years. They haven't had a winning season in more than a decade. They're 4-15 on the year right now, 1-5 in the MASCAC, but that one win was against Bridgewater State. So a really fascinating matchup here between these two units. They're going to be fighting like cats and dogs. I'm really looking forward to seeing this one. It's going to be tough.
Yeah, they're definitely on opposite sides of the spectrum. Last time out on Wednesday, Bridgewater came up with a 7-point victory, 101-94 against MCLA. That one went down to the wire. So it'll be interesting to see if they carry on their little winning streak they have going into today.
I'm going to really be looking forward to seeing how they spread out the scoring in particular. That's something we've seen a lot from the Bears so far this year. There's no one player, although there certainly are standouts, guys like Parsons. Emerson Hallbleib certainly has been a revelation for this Bears team, but they spread it out a lot. They use their game in a whole lot of different ways, and so many different guys are getting buckets every single night. I'm looking forward to seeing if that continues against a Framingham unit that admittedly they had trouble with the last time they met up.
So for Bridgewater, Parsons, Kakuba, Jennings, Gonzalez, and Hallbleib will be getting the start. On the other side, it looks like Framingham will be going with Thompson, Agonde, Errold, Okafor, and Martin. The same unit we've seen from Bridgewater throughout this season, for most of the season at least. Hallbleib leads them in scoring, 14 points per game for him. Kakuba right behind him with 12.2. Those two have taken several of the MASCAC Rookie of the Week awards throughout this season so far.
Absolutely, and it's very funny to note they both come in from two very different places. Kakuba, a freshman, very local. He's from Framingham. Hallbleib previously played club ball at Purdue. He's got quite a pedigree there. He's a grad student. And of course, obviously, two very different position players. Kakuba, true guard if there ever was one. Hallbleib, definitely more of the forward, more center-leaning kind of player, but they both contribute in huge ways. Like you pointed out, that scoring is enormous. They can make some pretty tough buckets. They're going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, that's the tallest player on the team and the shortest player on the team, but nevertheless, the two leading scorers. Bridgewater wins the tip-off. Gonzalez, before I can even say anything, they already got a shot off. And the ball sticks with Bridgewater.
Looked like that one was off of Okafor.
And the first points of the game, Lewis Jennings with a mid-range jumper.
It's exactly what you want to do if you're Bridgewater. Set the tone early, first possession, make sure you get a basket.
Agonde, three. No good, rebounded by the Bears. That was Jennings. Kakuba passed a little bit high. He was looking for Gonzalez. That goes right into the Framingham bench.
I was a little worried. That was heading our way for a second.
Yeah, almost. There's a couple feet to our left. So Errold passes that one into Thompson, and he'll take it up for Framingham. And it looks like that one went off his feet, and Bridgewater's going to pick it up. Jennings over to Gonzalez. That's a travel on Jennings.
Now this, of course, conversely to that first possession bucket, this is a tone you don't want to set if you're the Bears. A couple of sloppy turnovers in quick succession. They turn Framingham over at the other end, but that's not really worth much if you just give it back to them on your offensive end. You got to make sure you're taking care of the ball. That goes both ways.
Okafor with it now, driving inside, going up. Hallbleib blocks him. No good, but rebounded by Framingham. Swung out to Errold. He'll get that one inside to Agonde. Back out Three, no good. Rebounded by Hallblue. Well, Jennings taking it up now for the Bears. He's just going to drive to the bucket, and that's his second of the game.
It's a good transition bucket by Jennings. Really making sure that they're keeping themselves out in front here. Oh. Looked like Kikuba was trying to sell a little bit of secondary contact after the fact there. A little bit of a soccer level acting, as it were.
Refs weren't buying it, but ball's going to stick with Framingham.
To be honest, I think that was a good call. It sure looked like his feet were still in motion when he took the fall there. I do believe that would have been a blocking foul.
And the Bears get the rebound. Parsons with it into Kikuba, and the layup is good.
This is one thing we were talking about. He can make a lot of really tough baskets. Kikuba can. He can do it outside the arc. He can do it rushing in for a layup. He's very versatile.
Yeah, he's definitely been a big piece for Bridgewater in just his freshman season, so he'll be someone exciting to watch as time goes on. Okafor driving inside. No good, but foul called. They're going to call that one on Emerson Hallblad. So that's going to send Okafor to the line.
Good work by Okafor, working his way in, fighting through contact, and a lot of contact that was when you're coming up against a guy like Emerson Hallblad.
Okafor 6'6", one of the bigger guys on the floor right now. One thing this Framingham team has that Bridgewater doesn't is a lot more size.
Definitely. Bridgewater definitely concentrates their height, certainly in Hallblad, as Okafor makes both of those. Not a shock there. He's a 15-point-per-game guy. But definitely, like you said, Framingham spreads out their height. They're a very long team, and it works to their advantage if they can make it do so.
Jennings. Nice try there, but rebounded by Okafor. Lagonde inside now, and he gets a shot to drop. So 6-4, Bears lead after that basket by Framingham. Kikuba taking it up. Kikuba over to Gonzalez. Parsons, no good. Taken by Thompson.
That was solid interior defense by the Rams, not giving Parsons the space he wanted in the lane. And there was a quick and one by Lagon.
Looks like that they're going to call that one on Gonzalez. His first foul of the game.
This is going to be something the Bears are going to have to watch out for. Framingham early on is finding their way to the line. That's where they're going to start racking up points. Bears haven't had the chance to do that yet. They're going to have to make sure they're not giving up needless contact to the Rams and sending them to the charity stripe.
Gonzalez looking for something. He'll find Jennings over to Kikuba at the top. Kikuba pulls from three, no good. Rebounded by Lagon. Looks like they're going to call a foul on Jennings there. The Framingham bench is loving that.
Can you blame them?
No, I can't.
15. Hey, boys, stay contained. You only got one move. 15.
Lagon over to Okafor. Harold inside, back to Lagon. Kikuba gets his hand on the pass. They were looking for Thompson, and he'll take it to the net. That looks like goaltending.
Yep. That's the other thing about Kikuba. Not only can he score, he comes into this game averaging 2.1 steals per contest. He is tricky on both ends. He is a point guard's point guard, and he can play like a DPOY when he puts his mind to it.
Yeah, quick guy, just able to get inside passing lanes and disrupt them. He's on Thompson. Some good defense right there. Thompson goes inside for Okafor. Okafor going up. He's blocked, but the second effort gets it in. Tie game.
Great job by Okafor, not giving up on the play. He stays with it, again, fighting through contact. Does not throw away the possession. He fights for it and pulls away 2 points.
Jennings back to Kakuba. Kakuba swings that one out. Almost loses it, but Parsons sticks with it. Parsons with the layup.
How's he even keep a sense of direction?
I have no idea, but that was a great play by Parsons. His first bucket of the game, putting the Bears up 10-8. Kuba driving, gets that one to Charles. So Kakuba off to a hot start, 6 points already. Just 5 minutes in. Thompson passes inside to Okafor. Okafor pulls mid-range. No good. Halbley had that one, but it's going to be Parsons coming up with it. Gonzalez over to Kakuba. Kakuba driving to the bucket. No good. Foul called. They're going to call that one. They're going to call that one on Jerron Legond, his first foul of the game. This is the first time we're seeing any Bear go to the line.
And it makes sense that the first Bear to the line would be Kakuba, because he is a guy who, you know, even though he does have those exterior shots, even though he can hit from beyond the arc, he likes to drive in a lot. He's quick, and he gets a very lucky roll there, but he's quick. He likes to fight almost underneath contact, if that makes sense, for layups. That's his primary scoring opportunity, and it necessarily earns him some trips to the free throw line when he manages to draw a whistle.
So a couple substitutions in for the Bears right now. Peyton Priest just came on, so did Jordan Wetterland. Parsons and Jennings over to the bench.
It's also interesting to see that I don't believe there have been any Framingham subs yet. They're really keeping the unit out there. They're trusting the guys they started this game with.
These Bridgewater subs were the first subs of the game for either team.
It looks like that one's going to be on Harold. Yeah, right here underneath. Just a little bit of wrong place, wrong time. He happens to be kind of up on Wetterland just as he's catching.
Halbley for three. No good. Rebounded by Legond. Marshall back to Legond. Thompson. Nice passing going on here from Framingham. Okafor has it now. Guarded by Priest. Legond three, no good. Rebounded by Priest.
That's the killer of it, right? Framingham's ball movement has been solid today, but they just haven't been able to finish the job.
And Halbley puts it in with a dunk.
And I believe that's going to be a full timeout for Framingham State. They want to talk this one over before it gets too far out of hand.
So 16-8 Bears lead right now. Kakuba leading them with 6 points on the game. I'm sorry.
As nicely as I can put this, it seems kind of funny to think of this for Bridgewater State as a revenge game against a team that's 4-15, especially a team that's 1-6 in the MASCAC, or 1-5, excuse me, in the MASCAC. But again, that game is against Bridgewater State. Framingham came out one night just a couple of weeks ago. Giant Slayer kind of occurrence, I guess you could say. It's going to be really interesting to see how both of these teams respond after that kind of result. And I think we see it pretty clearly, that 16-8 lead.
Yeah, their records almost mirror images of each other. Bridgewater's played a couple more games, but this is a big game for them, having lost already to Framingham once on the year. I'd also like to correct myself. Kakuba does have 8 points on the game, leading both teams in scoring so far. So it looks like that was just a 30-second timeout by Framingham.
Which is kind of interesting. They called full timeout.
No changes from them either. And Bridgewater's going with the same 5 they went into the timeout with as well.
I would argue if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
And it's certainly worked for them so far. Legond. Turn over Thompson with it now. Thompson working on Kakuba. Brings that one to Okafor. Harold back to Okafor. Thompson, shot clock winding down. They have to do something. Harold pulls from 3 and nothing but net there. Harold hits that one to drop.
That's a brilliant response by Harold. You're in a tough, stressful situation, stuck on the side, in the corner, shot clock going down. That's a clutch bucket right there.
That is Hallblieb. Puts one up no good, but it looks like he drew a foul. And I think they're calling that one on Legond. So Hallblieb is going to go to the line.
That's a tough look when you're trying to defend a guy. It's a tough look when you're trying to defend a guy that tall in the mid-range, trying to do some fadeaway action, thinking he's Kobe. But he draws the contact, he does it smoothly, and he's going to get a couple at the free throw line. Especially
Legond, they have him listed as 5'8" on the roster.
I believe he's actually
5'8".
No, he's 6'8". I think that's a typo.
That makes a lot more sense.
Their website says 6'8". Legond is not a small gentleman. He's certainly the kind of guy you would want guarding someone like Emerson Hallblieb. You put height against height.
I was about to say, definitely doesn't look 5'8" out there.
He certainly is not.
Much taller than Kakuba, who's actually 5'8". And he uses his 6'8" height to get the bucket right there. Gonzalez fakes it, drives inside, and nice layup by him. I'm sorry, that was Wetterlin.
The numbers are close enough.
At 22-23, close enough. Wetterlin's first points of the game. Quentin Champagne's in now. He actually subbed in for Gonzalez, so I couldn't have been more wrong. And travel called on Legond. Another substitution coming on for Bridgewater.
Right here, it's a tough look. Good setup by Kakuba, putting himself in place next to Hallblieb. They form kind of a wall, and they stick Legond in place so that he doesn't really have anywhere to go laterally, and they force him into the travel.
Tyler Umara comes in now, the sophomore out of Kersey, Colorado. Priest inside to Hallblieb, and lays it in there for another dunk.
I think the story of the game here with both of these teams, really, as we've seen in the last few possessions, is going to be interior scoring. Getting points right underneath.
And it looks like we have our first Ram substitution coming out of Ryan England getting ready. He'll come in for Marshall.
There's a backboard view. Emerson Hallblieb throwing it down.
Hallblieb has 6 on the game so far. 4 of those have come on dunks. Umara over to Priest. Priest pulls for 3. No good. Hallblieb tipped that one up. Wetterlin got it. Back with Umara now. Umara over to Priest. Priest pulls from 3 again. No good. Rebounded by Legond this time. Jalen Carroll getting ready to come on for Framingham now. Priest picks it up. Hallblieb with it. Umara driving inside. And he'll get a foul. So they'll call that one on Brian Thompson. Tevin Charles also coming in along with Carroll.
Yeah, right here on the foul. Thompson not trying to, lay down a wrestling move or anything quite so aggressive, but his hands are just in just the wrong place. He can't get it quite out of the way in time.
Ivan Nyatenji also coming in for Framingham, and Bridgewater's putting in Chikwueze, I'm sorry.
You can tell when you bring in a guy like Chikwueze, they want to keep that height out there.
Wetterlin, and that's good. So Wetterlin with his second bucket of the game. Good amount of substitutions just happened following that last foul.
Yeah, I think both of these units are really starting to look to refresh. Framingham obviously wanting to sort of step out of a slump, and Bridgewater and really both teams, they want to give their guys a rest.
Yeah, Okafor, the only starter for Framingham remaining out there. Bridgewater's gone with an entirely new unit. And Chikwueze gets that one to drop. So it looks like after just coming off, Marshall Martin's coming back on. And same with Ligon. So quick rest for those two as they're getting ready to come back in.
I mean, it's kind of an interesting sub to make because Framingham isn't even running all that small right now. There's not really much of a way for them to run particularly small. Like we were saying earlier, they're a very long team. But when you send out a guy like Ligon with the 6'8", you send Marshall back out there 6'7", they're kind of starting to reinforce the height.
Yeah, they went in for Okafor in England, 6'6", the both of them. Okafor is going to the bench for the first time this game. Played about 10 minutes so far.
Ooh.
3 blocked by Priest. Nice block there, and the shot clock's going down.
That's Carroll who draw the foul here. Check this out. Right at the last second, maybe 2 left on that shot clock. Carroll heaves one up, draws the contact. Great play by him. Really making sure that he's not turning it over needlessly.
Yeah, so Carroll's going to go to the line, shoot 2. He has a chance to cut the deficit down to 11.
You know, almost everyone on this Rams team is from New England. The only 2 exceptions are England from Florida, and even further away, Carroll from San Antonio, Texas.
It's a long way from Texas. They're going to get Chikwueze with the foul. And 1 for 1 on the shot, or 1 for 2 from the free throw line. Umara taking it for the Bears. Umara, good ball control so far. He gets it over to Champagne. Good defense by the Rams, not letting them get anything, but Champagne gets a bucket to fall. The first bucket of the game for Quentin Champagne. Nyatenji with it. Kicks it out to Carroll. Carroll for 3, no good. Marshall Martin flipped that one over to Quentin Champagne.
It would have been a really slick save behind the back, but he just didn't have eyes on it.
And Wetterland with a nice mid-range jumper. That's his 3rd bucket of the game.
That's going to be another Framingham timeout.
So Okafor is coming back in.
Another full timeout charged to Framingham State. They are kind of in distress so far early. This 16-point hole, not something you want to fall, you don't want to fall behind any team certainly, but Bridgewater State is a tough team to fall behind. It is very difficult to make up lost ground against a defense like that.
Yeah, they were close the first couple of possessions, but Bridgewater's really been able to run away with it since.
And I think part of that is the experience of having played this team before, frankly. They see some of the ins and outs. Obviously, it was a defeat for Bridgewater last time. Framingham came away with the win. And I think as any team would do, Bridgewater almost certainly has gone back home, looked at the tape, seen what they did wrong, seen what they did right, and really worked to correct it coming into today, and it's paid off in spades.
Yeah, I'm sure it didn't settle well with them losing to a team with that kind of record, and they definitely wanted to prove that that was a fluke. Right now, as we stand, Kakuba leads both teams in scoring with 8. Wetterland and Hallbleib follow him with 6. And Duden Erold with 5 leads Framingham. Nyatenji takes it up on Umara. Thompson getting ready to come back in. Looks like Jennings also come back out there for Bridgewater, in for Peyton Priest. Marshall Martin working on Wetterland. Can't find anywhere, gets it over to Okafor. Shot clock winding down. Gets it to Ligon. Ligon pulls, no good. Rebounded by Martin. Ligon out to Nyatenji. About 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Marshall Martin, no good. Rebounded by Umara.
That's excellent defense sitting inside the arc by Bridgewater State, keeping the Rams. Well, that was a bad turnover, but excellent defense by the Bears, keeping them outside the arc, making the Rams take uncomfortable shots.
And the Bears with a turnover. Champagne was trying to get that into Umara, who might have had the opportunity for a layup. This time, Wetterling's going to be able to knock that pass away and get it over to Champagne for the Bears.
These two teams are just giving each other the ball today.
Champagne 3, no good. Rebounded by Jennings. Jennings to Umara, who's wide open. No good with that. Nyatenji with the rebound. Three-pointer for Framingham, no good. That was Kevin Charles. Marshall is one in there. Marshall Martin. I'll get that right eventually.
Excellent play by Martin. He doesn't give up at all. Sits right there underneath the basket. Really quick hands, and that pays off. Spectacular play by Martin.
Wetterling with it for Bears. Flips it to Champagne. Jennings guarded by Okafor. He'll get that one over to Umara. 7 seconds left in the half. Umara floats one in there, no good. Rebounded by Okafor. Nyatenji with it now for Framingham. Nyatenji swings that one out to Martin. 3 from Charles. And he gets that one to fall. Kevin Charles, his first bucket of the game.
That was excellent court vision by the Rams, making sure they knew exactly who was open. I believe it was Martin who splashed it over to Charles in the corner there. Great vision, great setup on the play.
Yeah,
that's taking care of the ball.
Looks like we got a big group of substitutions coming in. Hallblad, Parsons, and Kakuba getting ready to come in for Bridgewater. Didn't catch who it was, but Framingham had 2 sitting in front of us as well.
And it's really worth noting, you see on your scoreboard right here, that Bears lead is down to just 11. Rams are really making some substantive motions to chip away at that Bears advantage. And it's plays like you saw there, Martin's steal. He's had a couple great plays really just in the last minute or two. The steal and the dunk followed up by the great assist there to Charles in the corner. I think the Rams are starting to get their feet under them. And hopefully for them, they'll be, possibly more competitive in the minutes to come.
Yeah, Bridgewater's just got to stick with it and not let them get any more of that. They've had a couple costly turnovers so far and some tough fouls, but hopefully that changes for them. So Wetterland and Umara both step off. As does Chikwueze.
Looks like they're pretty much going with the starting lineup here, save for Champagne.
Yeah, and it looks like Framingham has gone back to their starting lineup as Thompson's come back in. And so is Errold. Kuba drives inside, no good with a layup. Hallblad gets a rebound. Hallblad, and he'll get that one in.
I think this is exactly why Bridgewater went back to pretty much their starting lineup. This unit, again with the exception of Champagne, who didn't get the start but came off the bench and has had a couple of decent buckets so far today. This unit got out in front of the Rams early at the start of this game. I think that's the kind of spacing they're looking for again.
But they're going to call that one on Okafor. That's his first foul of the game. It was on Jennings.
Tough turnover to give up. Okafor figured he was just going to work through some contact, but they call him for the charge.
Parsons looked like he was thinking about shooting, but he'll get that one over to Jennings, who goes inside, swings that one over Hallblad with it now. Quinn Champagne tries it behind the back, but Okafor gets the rebound. Harold directing some traffic, and he'll get that one over to Lagon. Lagon, spin move. Nice bucket by Lagon.
And it looks like Hallblad's kind of checking out his foot a little bit, looking at that ankle. This might be exactly the kind of thing you don't want to see if you're the Bears. He's slow to get up.
Yeah, definitely not what you want to see if you're the Bears. Parsons helps him up, and he has a little bit of a slow walk going on.
Yeah, walking off under his own power. We'll see if he. We'll see how it proceeds from here, and they're going to bring in Stanley Pierre-Louis to give him a breather. But we're going to see how this proceeds. If you're Bridgewater State and you lose Emerson Hobline for even a few minutes, that can be troublesome. He is such an effective scorer, really. I'm not sure what word I'm looking for, but he does a lot.
Definitely a tough player to lose for them. They're going to call that one out of bounds on Parsons. Parsons doesn't seem to agree with that. Thinks it went out on Thompson. I think he might be right about that, but
Zebras didn't feel that way.
definitely not. Lagon gets that one over to Martin. Thompson, guarded by Champagne. Stanley Pierre-Louis, another bigger guy on the team, not as big as Hallblad, but comes in at 6'6", or 6'5", I'm sorry. And they're going to call a foul there on Jennings. That's his second personal foul of the game. So that's going to send Lagon to the line for 2.
Lagon is kind of an interesting character when it comes to the free throw line. He's the leading scorer on this Ram squad, 17.8 points a game. But just over half of his free throws, 52.8%. He's one of the, I guess I hate to say lower tier, but he is one of the worst, relatively speaking, free throw shooters on this Ram squad.
Priest steps in for Jennings. Lagon hits both of those.
But who cares what numbers mean?
Kakuba takes it up. Get that to Priest. Parsons pulls 3.
Ooh.
Nice block by Lagon, but Pierre-Louis gets it. Tough bucket by Pierre-Louis, but that was fantastic. Scoring on Marshall Martin.
It's not often you see excellent defense and excellent offense in the same play.
No, for sure. That was great by both sides. Martin Marshall had it, lost it. Champagne has it. Champagne comes up with it. Kakuba brings it up now for the Bears. He's looking for a pass. He'll hand that off to Priest, who pulls from 3. And Priest gets a 3 to drop for his first bucket of the game. 1 for 3 from 3 so far.
Priest loves taking those threes from the wings. That's his main shot. A lot of the time he makes it. Sometimes he doesn't. That was a tough screen. Wolf by Lagon.
Yeah, I'm not sure Kakuba saw that one coming as Arrow drills a 3.
I'll be honest, it looked like a clean screen to me. He was standing firmly in place.
Yeah, I think that was perfectly textbook screen by Framingham. Just caught Kakuba a little bit off guard, and Priest calls for the timeout.
We see it again. This leads back down to 11.
So a 30-second timeout for Bridgewater.
It's interesting, you know, Framingham obviously down double digits, but not a whole lot of double digits. And they are really staying in this game in a whole lot of ways by just playing tenaciously. I think of just a couple plays ago, all these bodies on the floor down the other end, it ended up Bridgewater possession. They came away with it. But when you see guys like Marshall Martin sacrificing their bodies for the play, putting themselves on the floor, making sure they stay with every single facet of every single play at both ends, that's going to keep teams in games, and it's really keeping the Rams in the game right now.
Yeah, 11 definitely might not be pretty on the scoreboard, but it's definitely an easy deficit to bring yourself back from.
It's better than the 16 they were facing just earlier in this half.
That is for sure. So Bridgewater's going to get the ball here to start with it. And it'll be Champagne taking it for Bridgewater. Quinn Champagne gets it over to Peyton Priest. Kakuba with it in the corner, driving inside. Nice pass to Champagne, and Champagne just lays it in there. That was a great assist by Dante Kakuba.
Kakuba does a lot of dishing, almost 6 assists per game.
And he gets a steal right here on Thompson, and he'll work to the bucket. I think he just drew a foul as well.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be a physical game here. Looks like that foul is going to be on Thompson. It's going to be a really physical game. These are two teams that are ready, willing, and able to gut it out against each other. You and I saw before this game, like an hour before the game started during like shoot around, there was some words exchanged right here on the floor. There's a little bit of grip between these two teams.
And not sure exactly what went on, but
I have no idea.
there's a couple players from Bridgewater and an assistant coach, it looked like, got into it with a couple Framingham players, and Parsons with the and one.
Case in point, physical play.
Keith Key also just subbed in for Bridgewater, the 6'6" sophomore out of Springfield, Mass.
Justin Parsons could have found maybe a couple different ways, maybe fake on the shot or pass it out somewhere. Instead, he just says, what the heck? I'm just going to try to gut it out through Martin, and it paid off. He gets the three-point play.
Good look for Bridgewater. Hallbleib is just getting ready to check in for Stanley Pierre-Louis, so clearly nothing too bad happened there. He'll be ready to come back in. Had a solid game going before he went down for a little bit, but it seems he's all back to normal.
Looks like he's moving well.
Thompson over to Martin. Legond with it, covered by Hallbleib. Working inside on him, and he'll get a bucket to drop.
That's tough by Legond. Good work there, fighting underneath, putting just enough spin on that thing.
Key with a nice crossover layup. It's his first bucket of the game. Just came off the bench for Quentin Champagne. Nyatenji getting ready to come in for Framingham. Okafor from three, no good. Kakuba got that defensively.
And that's going to be an offensive foul. That looks like they're going to hit Key with it.
It didn't catch exactly what happened with Keith Key right there. Oh.
Yeah, right there.
He sent Thompson to the ground. Can't do that.
A little bit of action, maybe a little bit of acting. We'll never truly know. But that is a charge by Keith Key.
So Thompson goes to the bench now with Nyatenji coming in. Kakuba working on him. Nyatenji with some nice handles. Get that one over to Legond. You know, for the most part, Framingham's gone with their starting lineup. We've seen a couple people step in like Carroll, Nyatenji, and Tevin Charles, but for the most part, the primary minutes have came from their starting unit as Peyton Priest drills his second three of the game.
Yeah, you're definitely right. This is a Rams team that centralizes a lot of their play in their bigger scorers for sure. And naturally, those are the guys who often get the starts.
Looks like that one went out on Legond. At least that's what the Bears bench thinks. Tevin Charles comes in for Marshall Martin.
That one's going to stay with the Rams, it looks like. They're just trying to figure out who will inbound. It's going to be Nyatenji.
Charles comes in for Martin. That's a 6-inch height difference. Interesting by them as Legond misses a three rebounded by Parsons. Almost collides with Keith Key a little bit there. Kakuba driving, draws a foul. And looks like he'll be going to the line. They'll call that one on Legond.
You know, you talk about the height difference between Martin and Charles, but there's not much of a rebounding difference. Martin gets 3.4 boards a game. Charles gets 3.3. So if you're looking to clean the glass a bit, you know, they're pretty competent in very similar ways despite the height discrepancy.
Yeah, that's absolutely not a big difference at all. Okafor getting ready to come back on for Framingham. Kakuba drops his first free throw in there, and Okafor comes in, Legond comes off.
I really had not noticed how much this lead has grown for Bridgewater State. They have really met every challenge that Framingham has posed to them so far today.
20-point lead. Just a couple minutes ago, we were talking about them just having a 9-point, or an 11-point lead, I'm sorry. And they did a great job of extending that. Kakuba gets Nyatenji to lose the ball, but he regains control, gets it over to Carroll. 15 on the shot clock. Harold. Over to Nyatenji, and they'll call a foul on Kakuba.
I am fascinated by this guard matchup here, this matchup between Kakuba and Nyatenji. I think it's one that's had a lot of sparks so far today. They really play each other very hard. They have obviously pretty similar handling skills. They're both very competent at taking care of the ball despite making some pretty moves. I'm looking forward to seeing that for another 20 minutes on the back end of halftime.
Yeah, Yumara just checked in for Kakuba, so it seems like he'll be taking over the duties of guarding Nyatenji. Ryan England gets in as well. He came in for Errol. So Yumara gets that into Parsons. Parsons, Keith Key at the top. Key drives inside, draws the foul. No good on the initial bucket. It looks like he'll be going to the line.
They're going to get Nyatenji for that one right here.
So Keith Key goes to the line for the first time this game. He has 2 points. He'll have the chance to make it 4 and extend the Bears' lead to 20.
And these are only his 9th and 10th free throws of the season. He missed a whole lot of the year. I think it was an injury thing or something along those lines. Just rejoined the team as they entered MASCAC play. But he's someone who can be really productive for them when he has good days and nights. He's someone who was certainly helpful even just last year as a freshman.
Yeah, Bridgewater's got a lot of young players on this team who are contributing very quickly. Yumara, Takuba, Key, Champagne among them.
And they've developed a lot in-house too. They've brought in guys from outside, guys like Hallbleib, Priest, who have come in from other programs. But a lot of it has been based on development as well. Key was with this program last year. Uyemura with this program last year. Parsons, he's a junior this year. He was with this program last year. So they're really starting to, build from the ground up in a lot of ways. And you can even see it with freshmen like Kikuba and Jennings.
So Carroll gets his first free throw. That foul was on Peyton Priest. And Carroll goes 2 for 2 from the line. Uyemura taking it up now. 1 minute left in the first half. Uyemura over to Priest. Priest covered by Carroll. They'll call it travel on Priest. The ball is back with the Rams.
This could be one of the main things, if not the main thing, that could trip the Bears up at any point in this game. We talked about it even earlier in this half, is these careless turnovers, just handing it to Framingham State.
Yeah, despite the 18-point lead, you still don't want those. Tevin Charles has it, covered by Key. Uyemura with some good defense on Nyatenji. Not even getting his hands in there, just brick wall standing in front of him. Shot clock winds down, and Carroll gets the shot to drop on a nice bounce. It's just a 2-pointer from him. Uyemura, I think he's just going to kill the clock here with 14 seconds left. Maybe take a shot as we get closer to the end. We'll pass that one over to Priest. Hallbleib, he'll get fouled. They're going to call that one on Nyatenji. That's his second.
Right under here, and granted on that view we have there, Nyatenji is behind Hallbleib, so I can't get a clear view of what the contact was.
Hallbleib gets his first to drop. Harold and Thompson come in. England and Martin off. We have 6 seconds left before halftime. After this game, you can catch the Framingham and Bridgewater women's teams face off at 2 o'clock. We'll be here for that one as well. Hallbleib gets his second to drop.
A matchup, I must say, with a much different complexion coming in terms of the records between those two teams than this one.
Thompson, with the clock winding down, misses his shot. So we'll go into halftime with the Bears' 18-point lead, 52-34. And we'll be right with you after the half.
Teach us. We need persistence, knowledge, empathy, action. We need innovators and leaders. Education is critical. And at Bridgewater State University, we're here for you. For a great education, 360 dedicated faculty, hundreds of programs, highly engaged learning, 11,000 hardworking, practical dreamers like you, finding their passion, launching their careers. We've been here for 180 years through all kinds of crises. Student safety, always. Today, online, we're here for you, safely, with academic rigor, one-on-one intensity, and a focus on your future. Tomorrow, together again on campus, we'll be here for you, pushing forward. For tomorrow's crises, for tomorrow's challenges, for tomorrow's jobs, tomorrow's living. We need you, each of you, to persist, connect, innovate, create, learn, and lead.
7:35 remaining. Tatum with the drive.
Gatorade studies the best athletes to create the most advanced range of sports fuel. Gatorade. You fuel us, we fuel you.
Welcome to Bridgewater State University.
Welcome to BSU.
Welcome to Bridgewater State University.
Welcome to BSU.
Welcome to Bridgewater State University.
Gatorade packs carbs to refuel and electrolytes to replenish, so you can bring the heat. Nothing beats Gatorade.
The opportunities for me as an undergraduate here at BSU are essentially limitless. I've gotten an internship, I've been going to these great classes. I've definitely been given the ability to pursue something that's so passionate and dear to me.
A billion people tuning into the match between...
Hey, you ready? You're not done.
Women's football game sets new sales record. song rocks the world yet again.
Biggest turnout ever seen in sports. How does it feel?
It's Barca making a last push, and there's a foul.
That post, Gerrard. Okay.
Big opportunity for coach Alex Scott and the team.
PK! Round the back!
Coutinho to PK. Goal! The league's first female coach makes history.
Keeper fires to Dunn. Oh, that's incredible footwork. She's on the move. Big chance for Australia, and Kerr setting up for the kick.
¿Pero qué está pasando ahí?
Hey, you ready?
I think if you're looking for a community that will respect your academic and personal passions and be able to provide one-on-one support, I think Bridgewater is the perfect school for you. I wouldn't trade my experience here for anything. So for me, studying English, you need to be a critical reader, a critical thinker, and a critical analyzer. And I think those are key skills that any employer is looking for.
Gatorade packs carbs to refuel and electrolytes to replenish. So you can bring the heat. Nothing beats Gatorade.
I immigrated to the United States from Haiti in 2010. I attended Bridgewater State University and graduated in 2018. My highlight at Bridgewater was definitely my research work. I have a deep found love for the university simply because they reach out to folks in different communities that may not have opportunities to further their education.
If I could give an athlete one piece of advice, it'd be to find someone committed to taking you down.
And then we hit the field like boom! All day like boom! All night like boom! We hit the field like boom! Still coming like boom! All day like boom! All night.
Because that rival that wants to take you down is going to make you raise your game even higher.
Boom! All day like boom! All night like boom!
In the College of Humanities and Social Sciences, there's a range of degrees such as English, dance, philosophy, psychology. There's a lot to choose from.
Why people should study the humanities is because it gives you humanity. You know, it makes you see things from other perspectives. It makes you walk in somebody else's shoes.
Looking at humanities, that's when you're looking at, okay, who am I? Where did I come from? How does my past correlate with my future? You know what I mean? Humanities, it's a way, whether it be sociology, psychology, philosophy, anthropology, they all are interconnected.
I think if you're looking for a community that will respect your academic and personal passions and be able to provide one-on-one support, I think Bridgewater is the perfect school for you. I wouldn't trade my experience here for anything.
Why should people come to BSU for social work? It's affordable, it's close in location, there's so many opportunities for success. I'm in the social work advisory group, I'm in the Social Work National Honor Society, I've done undergrad research.
Here, it's a welcoming community where, culturally speaking, It's amazing because you get a taste of different culture every other day.
So the opportunities for me as an undergraduate here at BSU are essentially limitless. I've gotten an internship, I've been going to these great classes, I'm able to work part-time on the side on days I'm not in class. As an undergrad here, I'm doing research into the partitioning of Ireland, which I will be looking into the Irish recruitment into the British Army during World War I.
My highlight at Bridgewater was definitely my research work, looking at linguistic readiness amongst Black youth immigrants at the university. I continued the research well after I graduated, and it also helped me get into grad school in the UK.
Another amazing opportunity that I was able to participate in was called a peer-assisted learning coach. So I was able to be a pal to other students who were taking social work research methods class.
So I have an internship at Fort Taber, Fort Robin Military History Museum in New Bedford, and I got that internship through BSU.
So for me, studying English and literature in specific, there's a lot of core skills. You need to be a critical reader, a critical thinker, and a critical analyzer outside of the classroom and in. And I think those are key skills that any employer is looking for.
I think critical thinking is imperative for everyone to have, whether you go into history or you go into business or you go into English or math and science, whatever you need.
I feel like I took advantage of every opportunity that came my way and that the social work department had to offer. So there's just really so many opportunities, so many amazing connections.
I think if you're a person who is trying to better understand yourself in our world, I think the humanities is the major for you.
I have a deep found love for the university simply because they reach out to folks in different communities that may not have opportunities to further their education.
Here at BSU, I've definitely been given the ability to pursue something that's so passionate and dear to me.
If I could give an athlete one piece of advice, it'd be to find a rival. Someone committed to taking you down.
And then we hit the field like
They should scare you
all day like all night like
into starting early
like
and staying late. They might be far away or across town. They might be family, but they should make you obsessed. Like this time, it's personal, obsessed. And they'll bring you pain and frustration. You will hate them, but then you'll respect them and love them. Because that rival that wants to take you down is gonna make you raise your game even higher.
all day like all night like.
Hello everybody and welcome back to the men's basketball matchup in between the Framingham State Rams and the Bridgewater State Bears. You can see some of the stats on your screen. I have some here as well. Leading both teams in points, we actually have two people, Jerron Legond with 10 and Emerson Hall-Blythe also with 10. They lead both teams in scoring. Dante Kakuba comes in second with 9. And Jadine Erold coming in with 8.
I look at these halftime stats up on the screen here, and that field goal percentage is just eye-popping. It's only a few more field goals for Bridgewater State, but they have turned it into an 18-point advantage. If you're Framingham State, you really not only you have to step it up on both ends, quite frankly. You have to start picking your shots really carefully, making sure you're getting good looks, setting each other up with some pretty good ball movement. But at the same time, they have to really start to clamp up, if they can, on the defensive end. They have to stop giving Bridgewater opportunities, and certainly Bridgewater will find some of their own. Both of these teams will. But you got to make sure that you're not letting them have it easy.
For sure. And another thing, there's been not that many threes in between both teams, only 5 combined. And the 2 for the Bears have both been Peyton Priest, number 24 on your screen.
Yeah, definitely. That's kind of an oddball. Bridgewater usually likes to take at least a couple more from outside the arc. Certainly, we were talking earlier about guys like Kakuba who are very given to distance shooting when they want to take a whack at it. But I've been kind of struck by how much of this has been underneath. I mean, we even said this earlier. Just looking at the way this game was going from an early point, it was going to be a whole lot of interior scoring. They were going to go in and grind it out in the paint, and even in the mid-range to a limited extent against each other. They're just going to fight each other like cats and dogs.
Both teams going with the starting units we saw earlier. And Framingham's going to get it started off. Ligon swings that one out to Thompson at the top. Ligon with it again, covered by Jennings. Over to Marshall. Marshall Martin. Ligon drives in, no good. Kakuba gets that one for the Bears. I was doing good with his name too, and then halftime came up.
He's been playing with a lot of grit. They're going to call a foul right here on Ligon, it looks like. And that's 4 for him. That's dangerous. When your leading scorer has 4 personals less than a minute into the second half.
Yeah, they're getting him out of here quickly.
And they're going to bring in Carroll in his place, yeah.
Yeah, you don't want your top scorer going out this early, so it's probably a smart move throwing Carroll in there for the time being.
That's tough, especially for a guy like Ligon, who not only is usually productive, but especially today has been productive. He leads the Rams in scoring so far with 10 points.
Kakuba, nice layup. It's 12 points on the night, or 11 points on the night for him now. Oh, and Kakuba hits the ground. No call there. Arrold for 3. No good, taken by Martin. No good. And wide open is Gonzalez on the other side of the court. His first bucket of the game.
This is something the Bears love doing. You take an assist-happy guy like Kakuba, and that's going to be a charge there. Kakuba finally got the call he wanted. That's going to be on Thompson. And he's incredulous. But as I was saying, you talk about a guy like Kakuba who, again, dishes it out a whole lot. He loves tossing it up ahead to guys for easy transition buckets, those quick, fast break points. That's something he excels at.
And that was a nice one right there, just feeding it to Gonzalez on the other side of the court. Kuba works inside, no good. I think they're going to call that one goaltending. Yeah, they did. So they're going to call goaltending on, I think that was Okafor right there.
Just a little bit too far inside the box.
I believe that's the second time there's been goaltending on one of Kakuba's shots.
It's at least the second goaltend. Oh, what a steal that he's out of bounds with it.
Steal. Right in front of us.
The effort was there. Certainly no lack of effort here, you see, but he's definitely out of bounds with it. Steps out just as he's trying to scoop it back in.
So substitution in for the Rams. Andrew Smith comes in for the first time. Thompson's going to head over to the bench. Yet to see Smith today. Smith over to Carroll. Carroll pulls from 3, no good. Hallbleib with the rebound. He'll get that one over to Parsons, and Parsons kicks that deep to Kakuba. Parsons calls for it, hits Gonzalez in the corner. Gonzalez for 3, no good. They're going to call that one out of bounds on, I can't see his jersey, I think that was Smith?
I believe so.
Regardless, it's Bears ball. Gonzalez is going to throw it in. Hallbleib inside, easy layup for him. He has been absolutely lethal from the paint today. Even working against a guy like Okafor.
When you've got that kind of height, that's exactly where you want to be, is in the paint.
And he just thrives in there, just easy layups. He's had a couple nice dunks in the first. They're going to call a foul on Jennings. So that's his third. And Peyton Priest is getting ready to come on, presumably for Jennings. That he will, as Okafor hits his first free throw. So Kakuba taking it up for the Bears now, following those free throws from Okafor. Priest right off the bench, and he drills a three. That's his third of the game.
It takes two to tango. Kakuba with a great eye looking for Priest in the corner, and Priest making one of his three-pointers. Those are the shots he loves to take.
Parsons almost got a steal on Marshall Martin there, but Martin did a nice job of recovering. Martin to the corner. Harold, no good. And Legond, who came out early into the half, is getting ready to come back on.
Right here, good work by Okafor. He gets a grip on it, fights through the contact just long enough to earn himself a trip to the free throw line. That's a heads-up play.
So Okafor just went 2 for 2 from the line. Now he makes it 3 for 3. Kevin Charles going in. Marshall Martin's going to step off. And Okafor lays down his second. So he's 4 for 4 here in the second half. Kakuba driving to the bucket. No good, but rebounded by Hallblad. Out to Priest. Priest from 3, no good. Unlucky bounce there. It went in and then just came right out.
Sometimes it goes halfway.
That's a charge on Harold. Parsons draws the call. So it looked like for a second they were going to send Legond back in. He was standing right in front of the scorer's table, but he has taken his seat on the bench next to the assistant coaches. So I don't know exactly what that is, but you definitely want to get a guy like him back in the game if you're Framingham State.
I think definitely when they can, but you want to make sure you're giving him a breather as Kakuba with a tough layup. Wow, off the right post.
Nyatenji coming in soon for Framingham.
But definitely with a guy like Legond, especially where you're going to want to deploy him late in this game, you want to give him a breather and make sure he's not getting into even deeper foul trouble.
Smith, no good on the bucket. Almost got a nice bounce there.
That's on Kakuba, and it's on his bill that there's going to be free throws coming up.
Kakuba looks like he's got a little bit of a limp going on. Yeah, really, maybe he's just out of breath. It looks like Uyemara is going to come in for him anyway. He's been sitting next to the scorer's table for a little bit.
I'm not sure I've ever seen Dante Kakuba look as wiped as he does right now.
Yeah, he's been flying up and down the court, and he's played a lot of minutes so far, so will be a well-deserved breather for him. Marshall Martin's coming in as well. Harold comes out. Uyemara comes in for Kakuba. Smith hits his second shot. So that cuts the deficit down to 25 for Framingham. Gonzalez over to Parsons. Parsons working on Okafor, goes inside, driving, no good. Hallblad gets the missed shot, puts it in on the offensive rebound. Once again, working in the paint as he does so well. Another new substitution for the Rams. Josh Dumais, we haven't seen him yet today. He'll be coming in soon enough. As Gonzalez comes up with it. Gonzalez swings that one to the corner. Priest has it now. Priest looks like he wanted to shoot, got it back to the corner. Parsons inside, mid-range, gets that one to drop. Nice shot by Parsons.
That is not an easy shot. That was a fadeaway with a capital F.
Beautiful work by Parsons on that shot. That puts him up to 7 on the night, or afternoon. Smith guarded by Gonzalez. Priest switches on. Kevin Charles drives in. Priest right there. No good. Rebounded by Framingham. I can't see who that is. I think that was Carroll. And they're going to call foul on Hallblad. So Carroll's going to go to the line shooting 2. Quentin Champagne getting ready to come on for the Bears for Gonzalez.
Yeah, right there underneath. I didn't get a good look at what the contact was with Hallblad, which suggests to me that it was with probably his left arm, which was just a little bit out of frame behind Carroll.
Carroll misses his first. Dumais comes in. He'll go in. Okafor comes off. Champagne steps in for the Bears. Gonzalez to the bench. Carroll hits his second one, so 1 for 2 right there from the free throw line. Priest for 3, no good. Rebounded by Hall-Blythe. Hits Parsons, no good. So 2 missed threes there for the Bears. A missed shot there from Carroll. Umar crosses that one over to Parsons. Parsons tries to lay it in there, no good. The Bears stick with it. Priest tries to take it up.
And they're going to call a jump ball. Possession arrow, I believe, is going to leave it with the Bears.
So Lagon getting ready to come back in. Carroll comes out. Bears with a substitution as well. Chikwueze comes in. I'm not sure who went off for the Bears. I think it was Hall-Blythe. So Hall-Blythe leads both teams in scoring with 14 points. Oddly enough, averages 14 points per game. So he's sticking with that average today. Chikwueze inside, gets it over to Champagne. Champagne, nice layup. Tightly covered, but fits it in there anyway. Quinn Champagne up to 6 on the game so far off the bench. Smith at the top. Driving in, puts one up, no good with the layup. Chikwueze with the rebound, tries to get it to Champagne. Champagne dives on it, fighting with Tevin Charles. They're going to call a foul on Quentin Champagne there for jumping on top of Charles in that little scrum for the ball.
You know, this is another thing we talked about earlier, a difference between these two units. Framingham State, they centralized their game a whole lot in a few guys, and those few guys are very good, but it is very central. It's very focused on just 5 or 6 players. The Bears really get a whole lot out of their bench. They get a lot of scoring, they get some pretty solid defense. They make their bench work for them.
Yeah, we've seen at least 10 different guys come in for the Bears and put in some meaningful minutes as Wetterland comes back in. I believe we're sitting around 12 or 11 different players for the Bears who've stepped in so far. And we have not seen close to that many from Framingham. Peyton Priest pulls from 3, no good. Priest has 9 on the night, all from 3. Shooting 50% from the line. Thompson blew a whistle. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but we're about to find out.
Looks like a foul off ball. They're going to hit Priest.
I didn't catch what he did right there, but nevertheless, that is Peyton Priest's first foul. .30-point lead for the Bears, 13:24 left to play in the second half. Tevin Charles with it at the top. Gets it over to Thompson. Thompson drives inside on Uyemara. Gets it out to Marshall Martin. Into Lagon. Lagon fighting for it. Shot clock was winding down.
That's going to be a foul on the floor. I think that was on Chikwueze.
Yeah, that it was. You can see the replay going on right there. So that's Chikwueze's second foul of the game.
It's on the floor, but Bears have long since blown through the foul limit. It's going to be 1-1 here.
And Lagon gets a nice bounce there for his first shot. That puts Lagon up to 11 points on the game.
He averages 17.8. And of course, a whole lot of basketball left to be played. I'm sure we'll be seeing a few more points pulled out by Jerron Legond as this game goes on.
Bears going to go with a timeout. Uyemara signaled for it. It looks like that's going to be a full timeout. There's going to be a full timeout for the Bears. That's the second full timeout we've seen them use today.
And to be fair, I mean, they do have the timeouts to burn. They've got this pretty sizable 28-point advantage with, you know, call it half the half, give or take, to go. But I think if you're Bridgewater State, you want to make sure that you're not giving Framingham too much oxygen to start to put together any kind of comeback. We saw last time that win for Framingham was close. It was a 5-point game, and all it takes is a little bit of momentum. The Rams start getting some shots to fall, start dishing it out a bit better, kind of build up the court vision. It's very conceivable, if you give them too much space, that the Rams could start to come back on you. And I think if you're Bridgewater, you want to sort of circle the wagons and fortify right now before it's too late.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to get complacent no matter how big your lead is. But Bridgewater does have a pretty sizable one right now.
I think complacent's a very good word for it. You don't want to fall into a rhythm and, you know, risk getting put in rotation.
It looks like it's going to be the same 5 out for the Bears. I believe. It's going to be the same 5 for both teams, it looks like. Wetterland's going to throw this one in for Bridgewater. He has 6 points so far. Uyemara has it. Over to Chikwueze. Quinn Champagne pulls from a deep 3. No good. Wetterland had the rebound for a second, but Legond, a little bit taller than him, was able to get it to his teammate. Thompson covered by Uyemara. Nice defense by him. Gets it inside to Legond. Covered by Chikwueze. Josh Dumais gets that one in there.
Count that in one. Check this out right here. Legond working his way underneath. It takes some chutzpah to post up on a guy like Alvin Chikwueze, but he's able to feed it right underneath. Good look for Dumais, and he is able to finish the job and draw the contact.
Yeah, I think. Oh, we're getting a substitution. Chikwueze comes off. Stanley Pierre-Louis comes on.
It's also very telling that the Bears are sufficiently comfortable as to give Emerson Hallbleib a really extended rest at this point. He's been on the bench for a few minutes now, and it speaks to how comfortable the Bears are with their, you know, sort of forward/center lineup, that they're able to rotate between Chikwueze and Pierre-Louis. They're comfortable sticking either one of those guys in the position.
Yeah, with a lead like this, and after Hallbleib had that, he came down weird going up for a defensive rebound and seemed to walk off on, you don't really want to play him any more than you have to in that situation.
For sure.
It's definitely a smart move by the Bears, but that does also speak to Stanley Pierre-Louis and Chikwueze and how much they trust him. And they've had solid games coming in as well. Tevin Charles pulls from 3, no good. That ball goes off Marshall Martin. Looks like he wasn't ready for that.
Yeah, it kind of looked like he almost knew what he wanted to do. Right here, you're going to see the turnover. I think maybe he expected a little bit more resistance than he got. And as a result, he doesn't get quite the grip on it that he wants.
So Kakuba comes in the game now. Uyemara steps off. Kakuba was looking gassed by the time he last stepped off. So decent time resting for him as Wetterland pulls from 3, no good, rebounded by Thompson. And Jennings at the scorer's table getting ready to come in for Bridgewater. Marshall Martin pulls from 3, and he'll get that one to drop.
He's 6'7", and they've got him listed as a guard. Make that make sense.
And not necessarily something you're used to seeing from someone that tall, pulling from 3 like that and getting it in that well. Stanley Pierre-Louis gets the and one, and he is hyped about that. So they're going to call that one on number 55, Josh Dumais, as Jennings checks in for Peyton Priest.
That's a tough look. Pierre-Louis finishes it off. Gets just enough control of it to squeeze it back up. Draws the contact. But it'll be incumbent upon him to make his first free throw of the day.
And he'll make it after a little bit of a bounce there.
Still a point.
That it is, and that puts him at 4 on the day. It's going to be 5. It just updated, so I'm sorry about that. But Marshall Martin gets it into Lagon. Lagon covered by Jennings and Pierre-Louis, and that, no foul on that. Sent Pierre-Louis to the ground.
I'll be straight up. I think Pierre-Louis might have been breaking out the Tony-winning acting skills or Oscar-winning acting skills a little bit there.
A decent performance, had me sold. I've seen worse.
You check it out right here. This is exactly what this unit is. Yeah, he sold it a bit. But this is exactly the kind of thing that this Bears defense is going to be trying to do to a tough customer like Jaron Legond all day. You're going to have to double team him. If you give him too much space, he will force his way into the paint and score on you.
And foul called on Quentin Champagne. Tevin Charles goes to the line with 1. A good amount of the starters for the Rams have headed over to the bench. Okafor, Thompson, and Errold haven't been on in a little bit. As Jennings gets that rebound.
And we're starting to have to break this up a little bit here. It's getting crispy at the Tinsley Center again.
Yeah, we saw some of that pregame, and now we're getting some of that late in the second half.
Call on the floor is a jump, and the possession arrow would leave it with the Rams if that call stands.
It looked like Jennings had it, and Dumais tried to rip it from his hands, but 30-second timeout from Framingham, so we'll have to wait a little bit to see what exactly that is.
Provisionally, it looked like a jump ball on the floor right here. Here's a look at it. You see, looks like Louis Jennings kind of gets a kind of a faceful of it for dinner today, and they're fighting over it. I think a jump ball would be a very fair call there.
Speaking of rebounds, J.D. Okafor of Framingham State leads both teams with 6. Legond has 4. So he's been effective on both sides of the ball, rebounding offensively.
It's very interesting you bring up a stat like that because it speaks to the tough defense that Bridgewater has laid down today. 4 rebounds today for Jaron Legond. He averages 9.5. So that's really skillful defense in the restricted area right in the immediate paint by the Bears, not letting a certified glass cleaner like Legond do what he does best.
Coming in from halftime, Bridgewater had all but 2 players recording at least 1 rebound, so they've been all up getting rebounds. That's compared to 5 without a rebound for Framingham State. Framingham's bench wants to travel. Wetterland with the ball right now for Bridgewater. He'll get that one to Kakuba. Kakuba from 3. That's his first 3 we've seen him take all day. No good. Tevin Charles with the rebound. Gets it to Marshall Martin. Charles drives inside, loses control of it. Kakuba picks it up, and he'll get that one down to Quentin Champagne quickly. Quentin Champagne passes to Stanley Pierre-Louis, and he gets that one in. I'm not sure Pierre-Louis expected that.
But he made good work of it. That's the second time today we've seen Stanley Pierre-Louis get a ball that he maybe wasn't expecting, but still grab enough control of it to pull away 2 points.
As Champagne faked it for a second, looked like he was going to take it himself, and then passed it anyway, and it worked out for him. Pierre-Louis draws a charge that time with some of his active skills.
That's the difference between being nominated for the award and winning it. Here it is, Pierre-Louis once again, I will admit, sells it quite a bit, but he pulls a charge off of Legond.
He's excited about that.
A lot of basketball, and especially a lot of offensive fouls, is how much you're able to sell it.
And definitely a craft in and of itself.
If you're an interior defender, or really any defender, you got to be ready to put your body on the line. Be prepared to hit the deck if you need to sell a charge.
Stanley Pierre-Louis definitely not afraid to sell the charge really well and just drop to the floor. Kakuba from 3, no good. Rebounded by Wetterland. Or, I'm sorry, Jennings. Wetterland's gone. Gonzalez just came in for him. Kakuba gets that one over to Jennings. Jennings to Gonzalez. Gonzalez going in, out to Jennings, wide open in the corner. Jennings 3, no good. That one off the top of the.
Yeah, that's going to be out of bounds.
Almost hit the shot clock.
You check this out here. I'm not sure if they called that out of bounds. I wasn't sure if that was far enough back.
They're going to call a foul on Josh Dumais. I don't think they called it out of bounds. I heard someone from Framingham say it was out of bounds, so that leads me to believe the refs didn't call it. Kakuba 3, and he gets one to drop. That's his first 3 of the game. That puts him up to 18 points on the night, averages 12.12 or 12.2. I gotta say, I really appreciate, he missed 2 threes earlier and didn't dissuade him from taking any more. You can't let missing a couple shots affect you like that.
And especially where he's been able to switch up, as it looks like they're going to hit. Well, Jennings looks like the frustrated fellow on the court, and they are indeed going to catch him with the personal here. Yeah, looks like he gets some hand action there as Okafor drives in. Oh, well, there's the even more obvious one. He goes over his back as he's trying to come back up and put his own miss back in. But you talk about Kakuba and his stick-to-itiveness when it comes to the three-pointer. He's also acquitted himself very well from, you know, two-point land as well, driving in on a lot of quick layups. I think he's earned the right to keep trying threes after the scoring he's done today.
Absolutely. I really like how he didn't let that hurt his confidence missing those threes early. And he just kept taking them, and he got one to drop. We have another substitution. Errold comes in, and off goes, was that Legond? I didn't catch who it was. That was Marshall Martin who went to the bench. Keith Key comes in for Louis Jennings for Bridgewater. Keith Key getting involved fairly quickly, causing a turnover over there. Tries to get it to Stanley Pierre-Louis, but that one's going to go out of bounds.
And I will say that was a good defensive play by Tevin Charles. Tevin Charles with a little bit of football-style coverage there, holding back Stanley Pierre-Louis, making sure he's not getting to that, you know, breakaway pass. That was a good hold up there, and he does it cleanly.
Yeah, just kind of ran in front of him, blocked his path to the ball, and a little bit too much on that one from Key for Louis to get that. Nice crossover by Nyatenji.
This is my favorite matchup of the day, Nyatenji and Kakuba.
Nyatenji's been great handling the ball. Just nice footwork. Okafor got that one. It's back with Nyatenji. Gonzalez on him now. Okafor drove in, got it to Errold. Errold puts it in. Oh, it looks like we're seeing someone else. Errold take on Kakuba.
It's a bit of a mismatch, I would say, for sure.
Definitely height-wise. They had Nyatenji on Gonzalez, but he just switched on to Parsons. Parsons missed that shot. Dumais misses, gets his own rebound. I think they're going to call a foul on one of the Bears right there. I think that might be Stanley Pierre-Louis.
This is something we've seen a lot of from the Rams big men today. They don't give up on these plays, and certainly that's your job when you're sitting right in the paint. But credit to Dumais, not giving up, working even harder for the second possession and drawing the contact. We saw Marshall Martin doing a lot of the same when he's been out there today. That's something they've done very well, is not give up. These Rams stick with it.
Dumais misses his first free throw. Keyshawn Saunders getting ready to come on. Emerson Hallbleib comes in for Bridgewater. It's been a while since we've seen him. 14 points on the game for him so far as Stanley Pierre-Louis heads to the bench.
And I would imagine we're going to see Hallbleib out here for a lot of the rest of this game.
So Dumais comes off as Saunders goes on. Nyatenji back on Kakuba. I think that might be a reach-in.
Looks like they're going to get arrowed for that one. There was a whole lot of action going on there.
Yeah, they had both Errol and Nyatenji on Kakuba for a little bit.
You check it right here. He's starting to break through a double team. It eventually becomes a triple team. You kind of see Charles work his way in there as well.
Looks like Errol might have got his left hand on the back of Kakuba, maybe around his left arm area. Kakuba drills his first free throw. 19 on the game for him now.
This is one thing that has kept Framingham State even as close as they are. The free throw discrepancy is absolutely ridiculous. I believe that was the 14th free throw attempt of the day for Bridgewater State, but the Rams have had 28. They are drawing a whole lot of contact, and I think that's something that, you know, if they can harness a lot of the rest of their game, their contact drawing ability is really going to work in Framingham's favor in the future.
Nyatenji 3 knocks that one down. Foul called on Nyatenji, who just hit the 3. 5 points on the game for him after that one. It's his 3rd foul.
They're basically just giving fouls at this point. We have 7 minutes left in regulation. Did you know that?
Yeah, there's a lot of time left. I'm sure Kakuba's not complaining, as he has 20 points so far, and he has the opportunity to score a couple more here.
The way this has been going, I wouldn't be shocked even if we see a 30-point day from Kakuba, excuse me. He's got plenty of time left to, you know, sort of plug away, especially if he can keep getting trips to the line.
Yeah, absolutely. Kakuba's been able to score from all over today. Averages 69 flat from the free throw line. This is the 3rd highest scoring game in Kakuba's collegiate career with 22. He had 30 against Newport and 31 against MCLA. 31 against MCLA on Wednesday, so this is a nice string of games he's put in. He's had 3 of his last 5 over 20.
That's a good steal there by Framingham State. They catch Kakuba slipping.
Nyatenji no good, but I think there's a foul. That's going to be on Parsons.
Right here, Nyatenji in transition, trying to step his way into the lane. And he's able to draw the contact very well. I think this is something we're going to see a lot of from Framingham over the next 6:06. Them trying to speed up the pace, keep Bridgewater on their heels if and when they can, and sort of force them to play at their tempo and see what they can recover from it.
Andrew Smith comes in, Tevin Charles comes off. Nyatenji hits his 2nd free throw. Gonzalez covered closely. Nyatenji and Smith on him. They're going to call that one on Keith Key.
And then they're going to call a timeout. Full timeout for Bridgewater State. This is interesting.
Did Key get fouled or did he call the timeout?
I can't tell. He signaled 25 and then he said full timeout. So maybe it was both. Conceivably both.
I think Key called for the timeout. There's no foul on the live stats, so I think it was just Key calling the timeout.
Interesting way to signal a player called timeout then.
I believe they did that with Wetterland a little bit earlier, but still caught me off guard. I thought Key might have got an off-ball foul there.
Well, Bears have a 23-point lead right now as we sit here, but they've only got a couple timeouts left. We see both teams, you know, in the bonus to some degree. I think this is another point where Bridgewater is going to want to be very careful, make sure that they're not giving the Rams any chance to sort of slip their way back into this game.
Yeah, absolutely. 23-point lead from Bridgewater. That's not something that's insurmountable by any means.
And especially when you consider all the content, just like I was just saying, Framingham State, their strong suit today has been drawing fouls. And if they can catch Bridgewater State defending a little bit too sloppy, they have the chance to make up some ground with some free throws. Bears are going to have to be very careful not to fall into that trap.
Same crew out for both teams following the timeout. It was Key who called the timeout, no foul. Kakuba gets it over to Key, and he just hands it right to him. Oh, Kakuba with a nice pass into Key, no good, but Emerson Hallblad with the second effort.
I think the roof might have come off the place if Key had finished that.
There was definitely some ooze coming from the crowd when he went up for that one. Nice pass by Kakuba getting it in there. Chikwueze getting ready to come on for the Bears. Tenji with a nice layup right there.
That's a tough look. The Euro step coming his way. He thinks he got fouled on the way in too, but that's an excellent finish by Tenji.
Especially if he did get fouled. That's even more impressive as Gonzalez has it into Key. Parsons driving in, layup, and one. Marshall Martin getting ready to come in as well. And so is Carroll.
Right here, Parsons trying to catch Okafor, stopped for just a millisecond too long, and he does.
Jabray Griffin getting ready for his first action of the game for the Bears as well. He's not going to go in right yet, but following the free throws, I'd suspect he does. Hallblad steps off for Chikwueze. May have seen the last of Hallblad so far, or today. 90 now for the Bears as Griffin comes in for Parsons. Going to call that one out on Framingham. So Bears lead by 26, under 5 left to play. Kakuba driving to the bucket. Nice pass to Chikwueze, but not going to be able to put that one up.
Yeah, he just put a little bit too much gas on it, overshot his target.
Dumais is going to be coming on soon here for Framingham. Nice ball movement by Framingham. Marshall Martin from the three-point line, no good. Keith Key got the rebound over to Gonzalez. Now Jabray Griffin tries to get it inside to Kakuba, went off of Andrew Smith, who's now down.
Right here, good find underneath. Griffin looks right to Key, who's sitting even a little bit further in. Key doing what we've seen a lot of from both of these teams today, working through some contact, drawing a foul.
They initially called the foul on Yasir Muhammad, who wasn't in. It was actually Keyshawn Saunders who had the foul on Keith Key.
Muhammad was framed.
William Mars coming in now, with Kakuba heading to the bench. Probably have seen the last of him today. 22 points on the night for him. Keith Key knocks down his second free throw. 2 for 2 on that trip. Andrew Smith was down. He's back up. He's fine. Keith Key with a nice steal. Key gets on over to Uyemaro. Jabray Griffin, nice handoff to Gonzalez. Gonzalez working on Marshall Martin. Keith Key drives inside, draws a foul. They're going to call a travel. And Dumais comes in for Keyshawn Saunders.
That one's kind of on the borderline. I can see why the travel was called. I'm not going to say I disagree with it because that's untrue. I also don't know if I entirely agree with it. We'll see.
This ball goes off the feet of Carroll, picked up by Keith Key. He might go to lay one down right here. The one-on dunk from Keith Key. And the fans in the stands are loving that one. Little redemption for Key after he missed his first dunk. I'm sure he's happy to get that one.
That's a morale booster for sure.
Definitely got the crowd here excited. Dumais to Nyantenji in the corner. Nyantenji no good on the three, but Marshall Martin almost got that one in there on the rebound.
He drew some contact there.
They're going to call that one on Keith Key.
So first we're going to flash you back over. As soon as our tech folks manage to figure this out, we're going to flash you back over to this Keith Key dunk. Presumably after this free throw from Martin, who just made a clutch play of his own over here on the offensive end. This is something we talked about. These swing men for the Rams have had a whole lot of grit in the paint. They've stuck with every single play, and they're able to work through a lot of contact, force their way to the free throw line. It's paying off for Martin right now.
Stephen Morrill's coming in for the Bears. Chukwueze goes off, and John Shields comes in for them as well. Jabray Griffin with a nice rebound over Dumais.
And here I was thinking we were going to show you folks a replay of that Keith Key dunk.
Uyemara over to Key. Key to Shields. Back with Uyemara. He'll drive inside, looking for his first bucket of the game. No good. Rebounded by Dumais. Kevin Charles tries to get one in there. No good. Jabray Griffin gets it over to Keith Key. Could we see it again? No, he goes for a nice one-armed layup, though. Josh Castillo getting ready for the Rams. Nyantenji, nice move on Uyemara. Wow. He's had some great handles all game.
He's really excellent with that ball control, Nyantenji is. He is absolutely fascinating to watch, excuse me, when he takes it across.
Fuller, Carson, Rotkiss, and I can't see the jersey number, but it looks like a whole... Okay, Rotkiss isn't going in. He's going back to the bench. Keon Foy's coming in now. So Carroll, Nyantenji, Dumais go off.
Looks like both of these units have started to sell the farm a little bit here.
So now Yasir Muhammad's coming in after being unjustly called for that foul that was committed by Keyshawn Sanders a little bit ago. Keith Key, nice job sticking with it. Marshall Martin right in his face. Jabray Griffin gets it to Uyemara. Uyemara's just going to stand there for a little bit, chew some time. Zone over to Shields. Keith Key driving inside on Dumais. That's not Dumais. 52 kind of looked like 55 for a second.
They're going to call a travel here.
That is Josh Castillo. So Marshall Martin steps off as Muhammad goes in.
I think if you're Bridgewater State, you look at the result they've achieved today. This is a huge, huge bounce back against a team that, like we said earlier, has had its struggles, but this is a team that was not struggling quite so much against Bridgewater State the last time they met. And I think if you're the Bears, you come away from this with a really refreshed, positive outlook on how this has gone. This is a real feather in their cap for MASCAC play.
So foul on Keith Key. He knocked down Castillo going up for the rebound. Not necessarily sure about that one. It's going to send Castillo to the line for 2. Keith Key definitely wasn't sure about that one, given his reaction. Castillo misses his first. And he makes his second. That's his first bucket of the game. Keefke, nice pass to Shields. Shields pulls from 3, and he gets that one to fall. Looks like he's got some friends in the stands. The bench is excited about that one. That's his first bucket of the game with a beautiful 3. Saw a good amount of people stand up. That one goes out. Good amount of people stood up in the stands for that one. That one went off of Fuller. Rodkiss finally comes in after almost going in a little bit ago.
The best kind of success is when everyone eats. You see this kind of play right there with Shields. You know, some of these guys still coming up on this roster, starting to find their minutes, starting to, you know, try to carve out their spaces. It's little moments like that that can make some differences sometimes.
Yeah, Shields just a freshman, and you know, with a shot like that coming cold off the bench, that's definitely a good look going into next season, as Uyemara is just going to hold on to it for a little bit and dribble the clock down. Nice job sticking with him with Foy trying to get at it.
I'm not even sure why the shot clock's running.
And that's going to be it for the game. Bears 99, Framingham Rams 68. Dante Kakubo led both teams in scoring with 22 points. That'll do it for us. At 2 o'clock, just a little bit, we have the women's matchup of both these schools. Same place, so you can come tune into that one later. Thank you guys for watching. I'm Luke Mansfield.
I'm Matt Donahue.
All right, that does it for us.